Welcome back to News Nexus, your trusted source for stories that shape our communities and our lives. Today, we're taking a closer look at a challenge that affects thousands of residents across Pennsylvania. Small towns struggling with isolation. In towns where populations are shrinking and industries have faded, social disconnection has become a serious concern. Seniors living alone, young people moving away, and families scattered across rural landscapes. These are the faces of isolation in America's heartland. But it's not all despair. Across the state, communities are finding creative, local solutions to reconnect, rebuild, and breathe new life into these struggling towns. From volunteer-driven programs to innovative community hubs, these towns are showing resilience in action. Today, we'll explore the roots of this struggle, hear personal stories from residents, uncover community-led solutions, and examine the challenges that remain. Isolation in Pennsylvania didn't happen overnight. Many towns were once thriving hubs of industry. Manufacturing plants, coal mines, steel factories, and family-owned farms provided stable jobs, bustling schools, and vibrant town centers. But as industries shifted, many towns began to shrink. Factories closed, mines shut down, and younger generations moved to urban centers in search of opportunity. Small towns faced a rapid population decline, and the social fabric that once held communities together began to fray. Isolation is more than a feeling. It's a public health concern. Studies show that prolonged social isolation increases the risk of depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, and even cardiovascular disease. In towns where healthcare access is limited, these risks are magnified. Rural isolation also affects families. Parents juggling work and transportation struggle to maintain social connections, and children may have fewer opportunities for extracurricular activities or community engagement. The ripple effects are felt across generations. To truly grasp the impact of isolation, we spoke with residents from several towns across Pennsylvania. In a small Pocono Mountains town, 72-year-old Margaret lives alone. Her children moved to urban areas years ago, and her days are often quiet, sometimes painfully so. Some days I wouldn't see another person for hours, she says. It felt like the world had moved on without me. In central Pennsylvania, a former steel town has seen nearly half its population leave over the past 2 decades. Young adults describe a sense of emptiness, even when neighbors are nearby. It's like everyone is here, but nobody really connects anymore, says 19-year-old Jacob, a recent high school graduate. Despite these challenges, there is hope. Residents are finding ways to reconnect, and communities are mobilizing to rebuild the connections that have been lost. Across Pennsylvania, towns are experimenting with creative solutions to fight isolation. In the Allegheny region, a former school building has been transformed into a community hub. Today, it houses a library, a co-working space, and hosts weekly farmers markets. Local residents gather for art classes, fitness programs, and town meetings, creating spaces for meaningful connection. Lancaster County introduced a Neighbor Check program. High school students visit elderly residents weekly, delivering groceries, checking on health, and simply spending time with them. The initiative bridges generational gaps and strengthens community bonds. Technology is also part of the solution. Some towns have online community boards where residents can share news, sell goods, and organize events. While virtual, these platforms allow people to stay connected, especially in harsh winter months or remote areas. Local businesses are joining the effort. Restaurants host communal dinners, cafes organize weekly board game nights, and local theaters offer discounted tickets for seniors. These small but meaningful efforts foster engagement and a sense of belonging. Some towns are even experimenting with transportation solutions. Volunteer driving programs and ride-sharing partnerships allow residents without cars to attend events, visit friends, and maintain social connections, an essential lifeline in rural areas. Despite these innovative approaches, challenges remain. Funding is often limited, and many programs rely entirely on volunteers. Transportation continues to be a barrier, particularly for seniors living miles away from town centers. There is also a psychological component. People who have been isolated for months or years may feel hesitant to join programs, fearing judgment or feeling disconnected from a community they once knew. Building trust is crucial, and progress can be slow. Experts emphasize that tackling isolation requires a long-term commitment. Physical infrastructure is important, but human connection is at the heart of the solution. Patience, persistence, and consistent engagement are essential to rebuilding social networks. Interestingly, younger generations are helping reshape their hometowns. With the rise of remote work, some young adults are returning to their roots, bringing fresh energy, ideas, and technology skills. This influx helps revitalize small towns and encourages cross-generational collaboration. Youth-led initiatives, social media campaigns, and volunteer programs are creating new avenues for connection. Schools and community organizations are partnering to ensure that children and teens have safe spaces to interact, learn, and grow. Building the foundations for future community resilience. So, what does the future hold for Pennsylvania's struggling towns? Local leaders are optimistic. By investing in community infrastructure, supporting mental health initiatives, and fostering connections between residents, towns can rebuild social cohesion. Public-private partnerships, volunteer programs, and grassroots innovation are all part of the solution. Isolation may be a challenge, but it is not insurmountable. Pennsylvania's towns show us that even in the face of adversity, human connection, creativity, and community spirit can thrive. The story of Pennsylvania's small towns is ultimately a story of resilience. Seniors, young people, and volunteers are proving that connection isn't about population size. It's about care, commitment, and shared experiences. If today's story resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. How can communities near you come together to fight isolation? Thank you for watching News Nexus. Remember, no matter where you live, community begins with a simple connection, a friendly gesture, or a shared moment. Together, even the smallest towns can thrive.